Update: I think my grief-stricken wife is having an affair with her therapist, so I'm thinking of destroying his career and divorcing her. After tailgating my wife on her supposed therapy session and getting evidence of her cheating on me with her therapist, I wasted no time in going full scorched earth. I was mentally checked out of the relationship when it happened the first time, but I wanted to gather more evidence. I spent the next month, during which she had 7 therapy sessions, all of which involved them going out, once even going over to his house to presumably have intimacy. I took pictures every single time, pictures of literally everything. Once the evidence was gathered, it was time to make my move. I remember making myself a copy of the photos before putting all the original ones into a neat folder. It was during this month I had already started filing for divorce papers. I must say that throughout this time my wife was so infatuated with her therapist that she stopped noticing things. She did not notice how I never initiated intimacy, how my eyes lost hope, how I basically became a shell of my previous joyful and bubbly self. She was too focused on her romantic relationship. And so after one of her sessions, I decided to drop the bomb on her. She came home smiling and bouncy, probably because she just got pee-peed down. I was on the couch with a folder, telling her I had a special surprise. She told me she needed to go shower first, but I said in a very serious tone I needed to talk to her now. She sat down and opened the folder, to find a plethora of pictures of her and her therapist. Her face instantly dropped, and she started stammering over her speech, telling me it's not what it looks like. I then took out more pictures, one showcasing her and him making out. I also took out photos of screenshots on her phone of her and him going back and forth talking about how much of a loser I was and how they loved intimacy, how his pee-pee was so much better than mine. Things of that nature. I told her in a very stone-cold manner that things were over for us and I was in the process of filing papers for divorce. I never wanted to speak to her again. She started crying and begged me to reconsider, but I started packing my things. She tried to physically stop me and laid hands on me, but I told her I would call the cops. Before leaving, however, I turned around and said one final thing to her. Your brother would be so disappointed in you. I know this hurt her a lot, but it paled in comparison to what she did to me. I went to stay with my sister for a while, and while at my sister's, I started making the calls to get the therapist's license revoked. I contacted the licensing board and explained the situation. I gave as many details as possible, including full names, suspected length of the affair, many photos and screenshots proving the affair, background on everything, every ounce of proof I could ever need to get his license revoked. It surprisingly didn't take long at all, and before I knew it I was getting a call from my soon-to-be ex-wife about how I could do this. I played dumb, asking her what she meant, and she told me that I was an a-hole for reporting him and ruining his job for him. I told her that he is actually the a-hole, considering he broke every single rule that therapists have and hung up on her. The divorce filings are almost done now, and as far as I know the therapist has ended things with my wife, saying that getting involved with her was the biggest regret of his life. He has reached out to me to personally apologize, but I never responded.